Well, back. Whoa, there we go. Welcome back. Appreciate it. eSIM Studios podcast episode live stream. What are we on? Number 97. eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 97. Thank you for joining us today. Do appreciate it. We're going to get into a number of things today. Gonna have a quick episode, maybe about 30 minutes long, so not going to waste too much time. Do appreciate everybody for joining us. Before we get started, while everybody gets situated, I just sent the link out for social media purposes. You can find us at, if you want to watch this replay, simply if you join us in the middle of the stream, at the end of the stream, what have you, you can always catch the replay. But you can also take us on the go, right? Any podcast platform. So wherever you listen to podcasts, or even if you don't listen to podcasts, go to Spotify. You can have it's a free account. You listen for free. Or YouTube Music, iHeartRadio Music app, Apple Podcasts, if you have an iPhone, iPad, what have you. Anyways, wherever you get your podcasts, simply search eSIM Studios. We will pop up. You will see my face. And away you go, right? So you can download our podcast, take us on the go. Cool thing with Spotify too is I upload the video version as well. So you can not only get the audio version on Spotify, you can also get this replay of this video. So that is a cool little feature that they implement there on Spotify. So we have some really big news actually when it comes to Samsung, my beloved Samsung devices, right? So I'm a big Samsung fan. Always got a Samsung, always got a Pixel, always got a Nothing phone. Those are the three very best Android phones, and I absolutely love all three of them. It's like they're like children, right? I don't know, it's weird, but hang on. It's like you don't really love one child more than the other, right? You kind of love them for who they are, right? And it's weird. I told you it's weird, but that's how I kind of see my phones, right? So it's hard. Like if I had to sell one, which I was considering doing that recently, like, damn, I got too many phones. I need to sell one. I don't know which one to sell. Like, I'm like, damn, I love this one. I love that one. It would be hard for me to get rid of this one. Anyways, let's roll into it. So Samsung news, actually, you know what? Screw that. Let's do the opposite. Let's get into iPhone news. So when's the last time I led with iPhone news? Well, probably last week, but before that, probably been a couple months, right? Let's get into it, right? So we basically know what iPhone 16 is going to look like, right? We know the design language. We know roughly, basically the same design. But we do have specs. We do kind of know what it's going to look like early, right? Hey, what's going on, Auntie? Appreciate you joining us today. It's a long time no see. I think it's been, a couple weeks or something like that. So anyways, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you. And you have a Pixel, right, Auntie? Have you updated it to they just released another beta yesterday. Beta Android 15, beta 2.1. So if you have not updated your Pixel device, please go check that. And I'm sure if you have not, there will be an update available. So again, getting back to iPhone 16, all the real cool stuff, and I'm gonna get into this probably later in the week. The future of iPhone, and I want a lot. I want everybody watching. I want you to join in, right? Because to be completely honest, look, where are my iPhones? I have a couple iPhones here, and I think the regulars like Auntie, Daniel, who's here quite often, and Mr. Pena, Jeffrey Pena, all the regulars know I'm not too fond of iPhone, right? So I respect Apple. I like the way they look, minus the trolling of them not changing their design, but I just don't like using them. I just don't like iOS. I do not like the software. It drives me insane. If you would like to torture me, you would force me to use an iPhone. That's how much I dislike using iPhone, right? It's all personal preference, right? But I'm getting back to the original point. I'm going to, a little later this week, I want to get into the future of iPhone, like where they're headed, what's their game plan, what's their roadmap, strategies, how are they going to combat the ever-evolving world of Android. Not only Android as an operating system, but Android as far as the phones, right? The hardware. Hey, what's going on, man? Cooking with the champ. How's it going, brother? Hey, long time no see. I got you. Thank you for mentioning that, because I'll DM you on Instagram, but check this out for everybody watching. So I'm a web app developer, and there was a couple of side projects that I built from the ground up, not for customers, just for myself, just kind of wasting time. So I have esimstudios.com, right? And I'm going to get to the unlocking. esimstudios.com, right? So let me show you what this is, my little project. So here's a blog, right? It's a tech blog, right? News, information, updates, tech news, everything going on in the tech world. I have my YouTube channel, my podcast, Apple News, reviews, videos, news, home. Look down here. Whoa, what is that? Unlock your phone for free. But before we get there, I also have another website I just developed. Now that was a blog. This is a web app. This is the cool stuff here. techstudios.app. techstudios.app. So look at, so this is the actual web app. You can install it on your phone, like a regular application. Tech news. Now look at this. Look at all the stuff I got here. Android news, Apple news, PC news, other deals in the tech world. I can find any, like if you're like, I need a iPhone 12 Pro Max. Boom. I can find the very best deal online. Give me about 30 minutes. I got you. Well, I'm going to wrap them up all in here. I got our podcast here, our YouTube channel here, how to unlock your phone here. Get service, meaning I have deals on if you need service, right? Mint Mobile, T-Mobile, Verizon, whatever. You go to that section. SIM swap, how to protect yourself from a SIM swap is all right here. Android flash tool for anybody needing, like AT with his Pixel. If you needed to flash if you needed to flash stock firmware on his Pixel, boom, I got you right here. And then look, buy a used phone. This will pull up a phone search, and then it'll go to help you find the very best deal online for any phone. And then last but not least, go to theunlocker.app. Theunlocker.app shows you, teaches you unlocking. From SIM unlocking, if you're moving from T-Mobile to Verizon, and T-Mobile won't unlock your phone, right? Because you would have Verizon service. Well, these phones come locked to the carriers. Well, I can show you how to unlock it. Also have the servers that do it. Unbarring, meaning if you have a lost or stolen device, I can show you how to get it back to clean and clear. iCloud, I'm kind of whispering because it's kind of a secret. Like, this is a big deal. So you want to keep this under wraps, but please take advantage of this because it's 10 years of knowledge wrapped up into one little application. iCloud unlocking, free imei scans, checking of the device. And then I add to this every day. I'm going to continually add to this every day, right? So I have everything linked, or I will have it. I think I have everything linked in the description box of this video below. So if you see anything here, anything we see or you see, will be linked below. The web apps we just went through, the articles that we get to, I'll put a link in the description box, right? Yeah, I'll message you after this and see what you need so I can help you out. So check this out. So iPhone, I want you to join us later this week. What day is it? Tuesday. Let's do a Thursday show. Friday, I'm going to do a giveaway shows. Every Friday, we do a giveaway, whether it's an Amazon gift card, whether it's a Wi-Fi router, whether it's a phone. We do giveaways every single Friday, but only on our eSIM Studios YouTube channel. Right now, I'm streaming across 5 YouTube channels, Twitter, Instagram. And if you're watching on one of those platforms, that's fine. But if you want to enter the giveaway on Friday afternoons, you'll have to come over to our eSIM Studios YouTube channel, and you can enter in the chat, right? So we'll do that Friday. But Thursday, where's Apple going? I want you to join that convo on Thursday, because we got word that I call him Tim Apple. So I was about to call him Tim Apple, even though Trump famously called Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, he called him Tim Apple. So it's kind of it's funny. We got word that he's retiring. Now, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next month. Not even next year. But he said within the next year or two. That's the rumor, right? So interesting thing, and we'll expand on it Thursday, but you see all these cool leaks coming out for iPhone next year, which will be over a year from now, which could be when he's stepping down. They're going to come out with an iPhone 17 Slim, which is going to be a paper-thin iPhone. And then iPhone 18, they're coming out with an iPhone Flip. People's heads are going to explode. They're not doing that under Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a very reserved, quite frankly, boring person, right? And he plays by the cuff, very close to the chest, very by the books, doesn't really stray off, doesn't really take many chances. Look, Apple and iPhone, they're getting beat out now by the processors with Snapdragon, and they're getting beat out by design with the nothing phones. With the S25 series is going to be all brand new next year for Samsung. So Apple cannot just stay status quo. They're going to have to make some changes here in the near future to battle and or compete against Android devices, right? So we'll get into that Thursday. But the news I have for us today is that we have new camera sensor news. So we got into Cooking with the Champ says, yeah, it's been a minute, but I do watch some of your replays. You definitely know your stuff. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Sounds great, man. Thank you for watching. I had no idea. See, that's the thing. Every now and then somebody will message me or say, hey man, I've been watching your stuff, mention a phone. I'm like, damn, I didn't know they were cool. That's cool. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yes, I'll get with you and I'll help you out with whatever you need. I'm the person to go to when it comes to unlocking. I've been doing it for 10 years. Quote unquote, I guess professional. I've worked inside the business, meaning in corporate technology, and then I'm a truck driver. I check this out. I still have my CDL. I told you that, right? Cooking with the Champ. I still have a hang on. All right, now, for everybody, this is just for Cooking with the Champ. For everybody else, now don't worry. I'm not going to expose any private information, but I just want to show you, right? Watch. Damn collar, man. Okay. Texas driver's license. Commercial. Texas commercial CDL driver's license. I got my hazmat. I got my tankers endorsements. I got my doubles and triples. What else do I have? Hazmat, tanker, doubles and triples. I think that's it. Anyways, so I've done a lot. I've done a bunch of just, not random jobs, but just different. But I think it helps me because I don't talk about what I don't know, right? I'm not going to be on here blabbering about the economy, right? I don't know about that stuff. But phones, I'm probably, look, I don't like to brag, and I don't know everything. I'll be the first one to tell you that, but I do know my stuff. So thank you. It's still valid. My CDL is still valid. I still have it. I just renewed it a couple months ago. They asked me, do you want to renew the CDL status? And at first I was like, nah, I'm not going to need it. And then I was like, and then right before I checked the box that just going to be a regular driver's license, I was like, hold up, I'm going to keep it. I went through all this. I paid, did all this training. I did paid for all sorts of stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep that thing. I'm keeping it. So I still have a valid CDL. Yeah, it's good. And I've worked in corporate at Sprint when Sprint was around. I've worked blue collar jobs. I've worked white collar jobs. I have a college degree at the University of Houston. So like a little bit of like, and check this out, and it's in a whole nother industry. My college degree is in hotel and restaurant management, if you can believe that. So like I'm really familiar and knowledgeable in like, 3 or 4 sectors of the world, or industries, I guess you could say. But that's basically all I stick to. Yeah. Oh, you have the same endorsements? No, I'm not in Dallas. I'm in San Antonio. So the oil fields down here in San Antonio, where they're doing all the fracking, drilling for oil and stuff. So I got my CDL back in 2012. I didn't go to driving school. I did everything myself. Every test myself. I paid for everything myself. Now here's what I did for the driving test. I rented, found somebody that's what he does. He rents out his truck to people that want to take the test. And at the time I was living in Houston. So I rented the truck, took the test, passed, and the rest is history. But yeah, I did the oil field work, because just south of San Antonio, there's about it's like a U. Like if you look at San Antonio at the bottom of Texas, it's a U. Here, I'll show you. Check this out. Hey, what's going on, man? We'll get back to the tech here in just a second. I was just going over. I saw an old buddy here that I hadn't seen in a while, so we're just talking about. I was just letting him know that I had my CDL because he has his as well. Come on now. Where is... I think this is it. Eagle Ford Shell. Yeah, but I was pulling up a map here, so watch this. Okay, so I have my again, hazmat, tanker, doubles and triples. So I've done all sorts of driving. I've done hauling oil. And here's so San Antonio is... Okay, so Bexar County is where it has the 1 on it. So I don't know if you can see my mouse, but Bexar County is right here. So that's where San Antonio is. Look at all the oil wells they've drilled. Look at all the oil wells they've drilled, or drilled holes in the ground for fracking. So basically, a ton of people. You have a choice. You can live down there, which I didn't want to do, or a lot of people lived in San Antonio and just drive. It's like 30-minute drive down to the oil field, depending on where you're going. I live here, obviously, and then drive down. I had a 12-hour shift. I worked a overnight shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I just haul oil, go to the well, pull oil, and then go take it to the dump spot, or where you get offloaded, and go back to the well, fill up, make about 5-6 trips every night, and then drive back to San Antonio. So yeah, tons and tons and tons of work here. And then, so I did that. And then I also, that was for Stevens. And then I've worked for a bunch of companies, man. Big and small. I've hauled flatbed. I did flatbed for a long time, hauling lumber for Dixie Ply in Houston. I used to work for US Foods, who supplied, delivering all the Sonic restaurants. I used to do the reefers, doing Sonics all around Texas, drive up to Dallas and back. I never went out of state, and I was never overnight, but I never went, I was always home every night, but I did the most I could do while coming home every night, if that makes sense. I could have stayed out in the oil field, but I didn't want to. I got a wife and kid, so... Anyways, back to technology. But that's just a sneak peek into my some of my past. But again, still have it, still valid CDL. So, oh, you were just here? You did that in Midland, but the money was not as good as it used to be in the oil field. I know. That's why I think the reason why I got out too is probably similar to probably common, right? So I kind of got burned out. Money was good, but yeah, it wasn't. I think when they first started drilling, it was really good. I just got burned out, and because it's a lot of time. But next time you come through San Antonio, I'll hit you up on Instagram after this. Next time you're in San Antonio, hit me up, and we'll go have lunch or something and catch up on driving stories. So I drove for about 10 years, and I just got out about, I think, in the pandemic. I quit driving and just did YouTube. So I got multiple channels, and I take that back. I got out of driving and I created my own online business, right? So I have e-commerce business. I'm sorry. So I did my own online business, and it's grown from there. And now we're jumping into YouTube. So yeah, I'll definitely we'll link up. But getting back to iPhone, hang on, let me clear my throat. Getting back to the technology, so the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, which is going to be released here in mid-September, getting a substantial camera upgrade. The 16 Pro is getting from what it appears now. I'm still trying to find out what the actual model of the sensor is, because a lot of times you'll hear, it's a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. Okay, is it the Sony IMX 897? Is it the 898? Like, is it a brand new sensor, meaning it just a brand new model sensor, or is it a 2-year-old sensor? Like, you got to look a little deeper to kind of see what we're dealing with here, because you can't go by megapixels anymore. Like, yeah, they look good on paper, but if you remember, Google had that 12 megapixel camera in the early Pixels, and it was 12 megapixels, and they were getting way better pictures, photo quality, video quality than some of the other flagships that had a 48 megapixel camera. See what I'm saying? So you kind of have to see, like, who's manufacturing it, what's the model number, to dig a little deeper just to see what we're dealing with. This news just leaked, so we'll revisit this. We're not done with the story, but I'll revisit this story probably in a day or two after I can try to dig around a little deeper to see what sensor they're actually using. Because look, some have a good reputation and some don't. So if they choose the one that doesn't have a good reputation, well, it may be, may open themselves up for criticism. But I'm sure they know what they're doing. And the Pro Max is not only getting that 48 megapixel ultra wide camera that the 16 Pro is getting. Oh, I'm sorry. Now hold up. Did they misprint that? Oh no. Okay, I got it. 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. So not this year's model. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. My brain's all over the place. 16 Pro and Pro Max is this year's model. I'm thinking of the Flip and all that other crap in the future. Let me redo this. 16 Pro and Pro Max that are coming out this September are getting a new 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. And the 16 Pro, the smaller one that's coming out this year, is also getting, in addition to that 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, is getting the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 5x Tetra Prism telephoto module. There was a leaker on Weibo, which is China's version of, it's like their big social media app in China. It's called Weibo. Obviously very popular, billions of users, just not available, I believe, outside of China, only inside China. It's huge. It's like their Instagram, it's like their WhatsApp, big social media. The leak came from there, but from a credible leaker who's leaked numerous design leaks and info leaks on previous iPhones, right? Let's see, because they leaked out rumors last year that came true of a 5x zoom camera on the and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. Now it says the post clarifies that the 16 Pro Max won't get the zoom upgrade though, so the 2 Pros will have matching telephoto cameras this year. So though they will have matching telephoto cameras, which is not like them in years past. They've always had, even though the 16 Pro or the 15 Pro or 14 Pro still has the 3 sensors on the back like the Pro Max does, but they would always keep the very best sensor for the Max, for the Pro Max. So we just have a tiny bit better photo capabilities on the more expensive, bigger iPhone. So anyways, we will keep an eye on this. I will keep an eye on this. I'll try to dig a little deeper and see what sensor it's going to be. It's kind of hard to tell. And also, look, you also have to wonder, how long have Apple developers been using this camera? Because they have test units with this new 48 megapixel. Trust me, they have iPhone 16s already. They're using them already now. Apple board members, Apple in their R&D department, are already using this iPhone 16 with this camera in it. Now, when I say how long have they been using it, because you can't just get a brand new sensor, slap it in a phone, and then release it. It takes hours upon days, weeks, months of fine-tuning that sensor. Yes, you can fine-tune it from the inside out, basically, right? Because the sensor is hardware, it's physical, can take the snapshot of what you're pointing at. However, it takes the processing power to process that photo, to generate that photo for you on the screen. So how they process it, how they deal with it, is very fine-tuning. Google perfected this with that 12 megapixel sensor I was just referencing a few minutes ago. They used that, they fine-tuned it so much. They got so good. It took them 4 or 5 years to even replace it, right? But we'll see, right? So this is just the beginning. This is just the news of this getting out, and I'll try to do a little more homework and see again what sensor it is. Now check this out. Good news for Samsung fans. Really, very good news. This is music to my ears because I love the Flip, right? So Samsung is about to release in July new foldables. This is Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 and, excuse me, I'm all over. Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6. The Fold folds open like a book, while the Flip opens up like an alligator mouth, like a clamshell, right? I've been a big supporter of the Flip. I don't like the Fold. It's too weird looking and too bulky. I like the sleek and slim design of this Flip. However, as you know, I have a hard time using phones that don't have 12 gigs of RAM, right? I need a lot of memory, random access memory, because I do heavy multitasking. I'm not a gamer, but I like to keep 20, 30 apps open in the background because I'm doing all sorts of stuff, right? All sorts of stuff throughout the day. I don't want any of my apps to force close because I want to leave them open, go back, do something else, then come back to that app a couple hours later and continue the work that I was doing. Phones that have less than 12 gigs of RAM, typically with phones, that means 8 gigs of RAM, those devices will close older apps out, meaning once you have 20, 25 apps open, if you only have a phone that has 8 gigs of RAM, it'll shut those apps down to create more memory for the apps that you're going to open up in the future. See what I'm saying? So that was my big gripe about the Z Flip 5. I really like the Z Flip 5. That bigger outer display, very good upgrade. There were two major upgrades left that would basically complete this phone. One was a larger outer display, but they did that obviously with the Z Flip 5 last year. So what are the last two major upgrades that would really take this phone to outer space? Is, for one, getting back to the cameras. Yes, the cameras. They're actually using I think it's a 12 megapixel. Now, it's not the same one Google used, but it's their own 12 megapixel camera. That's maybe 4 years old, I want to say. Long past due. Long past due. That's the cameras. The photo quality on the Z Flip 5 is not up to par. It's just not. It's very noticeable as time goes on. When you compare it to any of the other phones that are out on the market, it's not even close. You can't even zoom in more than, I don't know, 5x or something like that, right? Well, its bigger brother, the S24 Ultra, zooming in 100x. The cameras, I encourage you, whenever you have some free time, go watch a review or two of the Z Flip 5, last year's model. Everybody will say that. Every single person will say that. Man, the cameras are so-so. So those two last major upgrades that I think that needs to really take off to make it a freaking badass phone, because it's cool. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's got a few major flaws that will turn people away. One's the camera, which I just mentioned. Two is the RAM. The largest RAM variant on the Z Flip series was 8 gigs of RAM, and that's it. There was no large. Now, you could get more storage, right? You can get, I think the base was 128, but you can get 256, 512. Well, this year, coming up, in a couple months when they get released, we got word today that they're coming out with a 12 gigabyte variant of RAM for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. Man, that's music to my ears. That's music to my ears. And look, this is $1,000 phone here. We're not talking about a budget phone. We're not talking about a phone, it's not a budget phone. It's $1,000. Like, it deserves adequate amount of RAM like all the other. Look, this phone is $350 and this has 12 gigs of RAM. Like, it's about time, Samsung. So I think they've heard the whispers, they've heard the rumors, they've watched the reviews like we all have, and that's what everybody digs on them for. RAM, need more RAM and better cameras. Well, we're getting the RAM. So 12 gigs of RAM this year. Now, I had a leak earlier in the year that said this year was the year that they're upgrading the cameras. Now, I haven't seen that same leak that often as we get closer to the launch of these new foldables from Samsung. But I had a leak maybe, I want to say where were we in? It was before Christmas, so maybe 6 or 7 months ago. It was not too far after the current Z Flip 5 was released, right? So yeah, probably 7 months ago. I think it was around November, something like that. I got word that Samsung was going to totally redo these sensors, these cameras in the Flip series, which is good. I was told that it was going to get the same sensors as the Samsung Galaxy S series, so S24, S24 Plus. Obviously, it's not getting the 100x zoom that's on the S24 Ultra, but we get the same two main sensors here on the S24 Plus. I have not seen much of that lately, and it would be very sneaky. And as we get closer to launch, since we haven't heard much about these camera upgrades in this upcoming Z Flip 6, I'm starting to think if they're going to pull a fast one on us. Allergies are bad here. So, Here's what I think they might do. Every year, they got to have numbers, right? So regardless if you upgrade your device every, 2 years, 3 years, some people, we have a lot of listeners that still have a 4 or 5 year old phone. Samsung and Apple and Google and nothing wants you to upgrade every year. Every single year. Look, they have numbers, they have sales projections they need to hit. And there's certain ways that they try to entice people like myself. Look, I get suckered into it every single year. Every year I'm like, I don't think I'm going to upgrade this year. I really like this phone. Like with the Pixel. Perfect example. When the Pixel 8 Pro came out, I was like, boom. I was like, damn, that is so beautiful. I can't believe this is a badass phone. I love it. The blue, the look, everything. I was like, I don't think I need to upgrade. I am, because I have a gaining popular YouTube channel in tech, so duh, I'm gonna upgrade. But let's take me, myself, and I minus YouTube, right? Just the person. Because when I got that Pixel 8 Pro, my channel was not as popular as it is now. So, anyways, I was like, damn, I'm not gonna upgrade. This is cool. This will definitely last me for 2 years. And then boom, what do they hit you with? Holy shit, the brand new design looks so freaking awesome. I gotta get it. That's what I wanted. I wanted the flat edges. They're gonna sucker me into buying another phone. And I'm saying that to say this, Samsung. So Samsung could have put 12 gigs of RAM. Remember, the last two things this phone needs, in my opinion, to really take off was more RAM and better cameras. Because remember, they did the outside display, made bigger outside display last year. So that was the two things left, cameras and RAM. They're putting more RAM in it. Sorry, I don't mean to flick you all off. They're putting more RAM in it. So the very last thing left is cameras. Now, it would be nice if Samsung could not only upgrade the RAM this year, but also revamp the cameras and put in the same sensors that's in this S24 Plus. Let's just get it over with. Let's upgrade the RAM and the cameras. Boom, away you go. They don't think like that. I wish they did. They don't. So that's why I mentioned they want you to upgrade every year. So what I think Samsung is going to do, I got that early report that they're changing the camera sensors 6-7 months ago. Haven't heard much since. Now, as we get close to launch date, here's a model here that was benchmarked, meaning performance tested, that has 12 gigs of RAM. Well, there you go. That's basically confirmation. They're testing the final product, right? That has 12 gigs of RAM. They want you to upgrade every year. So what I'm basically getting at and saying is that they're basically, we'll hold off on the camera upgrade. We'll just hit them with this RAM upgrade. Gives us something to talk about during when we launch it. Everybody will say, oh, what a much needed upgrade. And then next year, this is Samsung. Samsung is probably saying next year we'll hit them with the cameras. So an upgrade in the camera. So this year they're going to have to upgrade because they want the more RAM. Next year they're going to have to upgrade because they want the better cameras, right? So that basically covered this Flip series for the last 3 years. Bigger, huge outside display. Oh, I'm going to flick off. Huge outside display, 1 year. RAM upgrade, which is huge in performance. Trust me, you will notice it. That's this current year. And then for the third year moving forward, next year, they're going to hit you with a camera upgrade. See what I'm saying? Actually, they could have put all three of those upgrades in one model. They could have. The tech's there. Samsung, they know how to do it. But they're spreading it out over time so you upgrade every year. Got to get the new phone. Oops. Oh, it's got new cameras? Damn, I got to have the new cameras. These suck. Oh, damn. New RAM? Got to get the new RAM. Makes a ton of difference. Performance. Oh, it's got that outside. They got me. Damn, look at that outer edge display. That looks so badass. I got to get that. Fall victim. Now, I don't blame them. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They are in the business of making money. Don't get it twisted. If they were not in the business of making money, they would not be in business, right? They're a company that sells a product and they're trying to maximize the profits. They have sales projections they have to hit every year, and they're just going about the best strategy possible to fulfill their needs as a company. I don't blame them. I don't blame any. Well, I shouldn't say that, but in this specific instance, I do not blame them. Let's see. Where is the benchmark testing? Apple does that. Google does that. Everybody does that. Now, hang on one second before we move on. Here's something about cameras. Hold up. Before we get to that, let me go back to the benchmark. Okay, so this might get a camera upgrade. So hang on, we'll check this out. Let me see if I can pull this benchmark test up. Guys. Let me, I got something to say. I'm not afraid to admit when I make a dumbass move, right? And just right now, I made a dumbass move. Yes, I can admit when I mess up, I will admit it. I don't have a hard time, putting blame on myself. So this was another leak that I assumed I was pulling up the upgraded RAM leak. Now, everything I told you, 1000% true. But now looking at the details of this article, this is saying that, what do you know? It does have a camera. It appears it will have a camera upgrade. I pulled this article assuming it was the RAM upgrade article, and I was unaware that it potentially might have a camera upgrade. So I was talking about the RAM while showing you a camera upgrade article. So that was my fault, but very intriguing. So they may hit us with the double whammy, which is good for consumers because that means you will not have to upgrade. If they hit us with a camera upgrade and a RAM upgrade, you're not going to have to upgrade next year as well. You can just get one this year and you'll be good for a while. I beg your pardon. I got carried away talking about CDL stuff and my personal history, and I pulled the wrong article. Well, here we go. Hello, duh. Okay, so everything I told you was true, but it appears there may be a plot twist. It appears Samsung might throw in. They may do their consumers throw us a mulligan, and may upgrade the cameras and the RAM. See, but that puts. Ooh, you know what I just thought of? They know Apple's coming out with their flip phone. So Samsung's been sitting nice and pretty at that number one spot with zero competition. Now, I know Moto, yes, we have a you're a Moto user here. The Razr 50 Ultra has 12 gigs of. Oh no shit. Damn. Okay, so not zero competition, but you're a big supporter of that Razr, right? You've told me I need to get one. No shit. Yeah, I know it had that big outside screen. Okay, so as far as sales, right? So I take that back, right? I'm wrong again. What do you know? Samsung and the foldables that was incorrect of me to say. They don't have a zero competition. Motorola does make a rather nice flip phone. But I guess what I was thinking of is sales volume. Like, I want to know the unit, like, how many units, how many phones does Motorola Razr sell in the year of 2023 compared to Samsung Z Flip series in the year of 2023? Samsung probably outsells, I'm guessing, the Moto Razr probably 10-1. I don't believe it's close. Not saying Motorola has a bad product or they put out a bad phone or it's not spec-wise, it's not comparable. I'm not saying that. In fact, I do plan on getting a Moto this year, Razr, somehow, some way. I'll find one. But when you think of a flip phone, you think of Samsung, right? I guess that's what I meant to say. But Apple is joining in on the foldables. I think Samsung starting to feel the pressure. Well, look, even not really, but kind of for Motorola, right? They're putting out. Their Moto Razr has good cameras, right? It has 12 gigs of RAM, right? So it had the two missing components of this Samsung Flip foldable. Apple's going to enter the world of foldables. Samsung's got to up their game up. They know the Apple iPhone Flip is going to be a big hit, and Samsung's going to, I guarantee you that's what they're doing. I guarantee you that's what they're doing. They know the pressure's on now that Apple is putting one out, and they're like, well, shit, we gotta beef ours up. Like, it's nice and easy when you're sitting at the top, at the very top spot with not much competition. You know, you can get a little lackadaisical, you know, take a day or two off here and there, and you know, you get full of yourself pretty quick. But when there's a new kid on the block testing that spot, boy, you better get back on your bike and ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's makes perfect sense now. Kind of thinking out loud, but y'all follow with me? Like, I think this is why they're doing it. So, yes, Samsung Z Flip 6, 12 gigs of RAM, benchmark leaks. Do we have scores? It's going to have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, same CPU the S24 Plus, S24 Ultra have. But, okay, here we go. We got scores. Performed similar. The Flip model scores were 22, so just over 2200 in the single core score performance. In the multi-core score performance, it scored just over 6,800 points. Now, let me see what this S24 did, because I have my history right here. Should be right up there with this. So, this S24 Ultra benchmarked with using the same benchmark. Get this. So it scored just over 2200 on this one for a single core score performance. Basically almost identical to the Flip 6. Multi-core score of just under 6,800. Oh wow, so that's just slightly over 6,800. So almost identical to the S24 Ultra, right? And S24 Plus, same CPU, same setup. So it's gonna perform great, right? Now look at this. What do you know? So Samsung's not gonna make you wait. Again, perfect sense. You gotta take in the whole field, the whole tech, this little section specifically of technology, phone tech, foldables. That's what's going on. Moto continually makes a rather decent foldable, which is, again, sales wise not really comparable to Samsung, but product wise, yeah, it's comparable. Now, again, Apple's coming in the market with a flip phone. So Samsung is not only going to upgrade the RAM, they're upgrading the camera as well. Thank you, Jesus. That 12 megapixel sensor was horrible. Absolutely trash. God, I hated it. Let's see. 50 megapixel rear primary sensor. So it looks like it is getting the same sensors. Obviously minus one, because the Flip has two sensors. So it'll get those two main sensors on the back of the S24 Plus, which is, they're pretty damn good. It won't take the absolute best photos for any phone, but it'll be right up there. It'll be a huge improvement. So if you've been interested in getting a foldable, a Flip, Samsung, this will be the one to get, especially when they come out with their trade-in deals, pre-sale deals. I'm getting one. I'll tell you that right now. I'm definitely getting one. and I will enjoy it. So I love these little phones. So good news for Samsung foldable lovers, I guess. Really good news today. A little surprised myself. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this, and if any other information comes out, we'll definitely bring it to your attention. Now let's see here. That might be it, because I'm way past my cutoff time that I had for myself, but that's fine. I got off track talking about my past employment, but that's fine. But look, guys, I gotta run. I was gonna get in here at 6, and it's 6:30, but I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Come back tomorrow. Look, I'm gonna try to live stream a little earlier. I'm gonna try to start doing these daily live streams. I want to say around 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, you're out in California, that would be 1 p.m. your time, right? If you're in Colorado Mountain Time, that'd be 2 p.m. your time. Of course, Texas, Chicago, Oklahoma, it's going to be 3 p.m. your time. And then if you're on the East Coast, it will be starting at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. It would work best for me, so that's why I'm kind of trying to start a little earlier. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to try to hit I'm going to try to hit 3 p.m. on the dot every single day. I can't guarantee I will start at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time every single day, but I'm going to try. So again, if you missed the live stream, simply hit the replay and join us every Friday. We have our giveaway Fridays. This week I have cases to give away. I also have the Look, I'm going to review this unit and then I'm going to give it away. So if you want, where is it? Hang on. I'm gonna give this away too. Now I'm gonna review it, obviously, but after the review, I'm gonna try to do the review this week so we can put this into the drawing for the giveaway. It's the Plod Note. Chat GPT enabled AI voice recorder, and it comes with the little sleeve, right? So it's snug in there, and it has a connect it to a MagSafe. So if you have an iPhone, it sticks right to the back of your iPhone, or if you have an Android, you can throw a case on there with a MagSafe magnet. It'll stick right on there, or you can simply take it out, and you can take it out and use it without the sleeve on it. That's a tight fit. So anyways, we're going to give that away. I have cases to give away. And if all else fails, I'll just email the winner a Amazon gift card, right? Because I can get you a $20-30 Amazon gift certificate through email. I can do that in a few minutes. So, and if you win a physical item, a case, this Chat GPT thing, I'll ship it to you for free. You don't have to spend one penny. Right, that's on me. So join me this Friday for the giveaway. Thursday we'll talk about the future of Apple, and I'm going to dig into see what sensor the new iPhone cameras are. And again, join me tomorrow where we talk tech every day, right around this time every single day. So appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a eventful, safe afternoon, and see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. sharp. Peace.